Hi, my name is Jenny, and I'm doing my internship at the Road Home, which is an emergency shelter for families. And so I am in case management there. And the clients that I work with are actually families. The whole family is considered our client. So it makes the eco map portion of this a little bit challenging. But the case I'd like to present for staffing today is a situation that I'm working on with the Smith family. So the Smiths, there are four individuals, and the person I work primarily with is the wife, Barb, and the situation, and they have two kids, a 10 and a 13-year-old, both boys. And the situation is that the husband, Bob, has been slinging dope, as the wife has told me. It's not something that I have witnessed myself, but the problem is that he's actually on probation, and he does have to do drug tests every week. And as far as I know, those are coming up negative. So I don't think that he is using in front of the kids. Otherwise, that would be a mandated call to Child Protective Services, DCFS. But she's told me on numerous occasions that she's worried because he's slinging dope. And the environmental context is that they have actually had their kids taken away from them before. He has some felonies, and most of them, he has gone to jail for selling drugs, and the kids were taken away for him using drugs in front of them, as well as being physically abusive to Barb. So they worked really hard, from what I understand from Barb. They worked very hard to get the kids back. So the ethical dilemma for me is I have worked with his probation officer, and I'm wondering if I should share any of this information with his probation officer, because obviously dealing drugs while he's on probation would be a violation. So the question of whether there are any cultural considerations. This is a white American family, so as far as cultural considerations, there aren't any that I'm aware of, but I'm interested in learning other people's perspectives on that. What theories did you conceptualize in your understanding of this dilemma? So I thought social learning theory was relevant here because Bob's only stable source of income in the past decade or so, from what I understand, has been from his drug sales. Other than that, he's done a lot of part-time work and kind of shifted from job to job. But selling drugs is something, and this is something that Barb told me. Bob did not tell me this himself, but from what I understand, it's a stable source of income for them, even though Barb wishes that it wasn't a part of their family at this time. Also, I think systems theory applies here. So the choices that the dad is making is sort of setting the family on this trajectory that may be hard to escape. And the way that they engage with their community, all of this will set a course that has long-term effects, I think, for the boys. And it also makes me think about how mom and dad have been shaped by the system that they are in. The ethical decision framework that I used was from this Madison paper, which starts with engaging in reflection and self-awareness. So even though personally I feel really drawn to protecting these boys, and I'm worried about their outcome, although I should interject that they actually seem to be doing really well in school right now. They're thriving, they're getting good grades, they're sweet boys. They seem like they have positive attitudes when I talk with them. But I do really feel drawn towards protecting them on a personal level. But professionally, I know that since Barb, the mom, is not really asking me for help, she's just sharing information with me, and that this isn't a situation where I'm a mandated reporter. I sort of default to keeping this confidence, even though I know that I could share it with the probation officer. I think I default to keeping this confidence and favoring the client's self-determination in this situation. The second step with this framework is analyzing the current ethical dilemma. And just because I'm not aware of him doing drugs directly in front of the kids, there's not a situation of abuse or anything like that. I don't think I'm mandated to report this, and I think I'm probably not going to, but it is something that I would like input on. Continuing the process of self-reflection and self-awareness, I like this step of this framework because it has 4 components: client factors, personal factors, organizational factors, and professional factors. So, the client factors, I know Barb is worried right now. She does not want her kids to be taken away again, but she's not asking for intervention. She's not asking for help. Personal factors, like I said before, I do feel a bit worried for the kids, but I don't feel like they're in imminent danger right now. Organizational factors, because the shelter where I'm doing my internship is a low barrier shelter. They don't do any drug tests with anyone or anything like that. I think that if I were to bring this to actual staffing with them, I feel like the organization would be on the side of not reporting Scott. Oh, excuse me, not reporting Bob. And then professional, I think confidentiality and self-determination sort of override everything else in the situation so far, if nothing else changes, if the behaviors don't change, if the severity of the situation doesn't change. So I see this as being an ongoing process of continuing to talk with Barb and chatting with her, seeing how she feels, seeing where she's at, seeing if anything's changed, and just sort of let her direct this process and where it goes, letting her know that I am always there as a support for her and for the kids, and for Bob as well. The client's perception of the problem. She wants to keep her family together, and she's very dedicated to her husband. She can't get him to stop selling. She said she's tried. She said she's really tried, especially because they'll be getting some housing funding. She's been telling him this is a new lease on life, figuratively and in reality. But she's really terrified of losing the kids again. So I think she is in a little bit of a dilemma as well. The strengths and limitations of the client. Barb fiercely loves her family and appears to be as good of a mother as she can be to the boys with the limitations that she has. Her decision making does seem to be clouded maybe by her experience, by her personal childhood upbringing, and by her loyalty to a husband who doesn't always engage in the best decision making. What has this ethical dilemma taught you about being a more effective social work practitioner? Honestly, I'm unsure of what it's taught me about being more effective. I'm not sure if I am more effective, but what I do like about this process is that I now know there are some tools that we can use to help with this decision making process, and that the tools can help us be more analytical and more professional about making these hard decisions where ethics come into play. And using those tools will help us make a more professionally sound decision. Thanks for your time.